Hello and welcome to Retro Cars Reborn. I'm Lee and this is a Ford Capri, from what you can see of it anyway. And that's going to be the first video that I'm going to put up now that I'm back. I've been working on my mental health and my physical health, so now I think it's time to work on some inanimate objects. So let's get on with it. So I've flipped the Capri over and I'm currently working on the ginormous hole which you can, practically shove your head entirely through. So we've just been cleaning the area up because we need to cut out this base here because we've got the other one in, so we know where this one is going to go. So I'm just going to have to make this panel up, which we will be doing as soon as I've cleaned this edge off. So I will be back with you in a minute. So basically I've come up with my template, and as you can see it's absolutely trash. I'm just going to weld another plate in there, pretty much because I did the bottom one in two sections. Basically I put a section in there and then there. If you watch the video for me repairing this, you'll see. Yeah, because I've got to build that piece and the end of that. So that's the end of that one, and that is the round bit. Yes, I know I've gone to the edges on this, and it actually does bulge further round, but it'll turn out fine. I mean, if you look carefully at that, what you can see that it is two sections welded together, but once it's all covered in Gravitex, it doesn't matter. Oh, no one's going to see the floor but an MOT tester, if I ever take it for an MOT, because it's tax exempt anyway. An MOT exempt. So now I'm going to cut out this and I'm going to put it on some metal, and then we'll see if we can build this all in one go, or I'll have to cut it up and turn it into some smaller sections. So far with heating it up, hitting it, bending it and getting it to thingy, I've managed to so far make that piece. Obviously there's a gap, but that's because it's not cut down to fit yet. But yeah, that'll serve that purpose perfectly. I've put a dot for where I need to drill the hole to make the one with a hole in it, but it's now really dark and it's raining, so I'm going to go in for a bit and then I'll come back and we'll see how much more of this we can form. Yeah, as you can see, the paint did not like being heated up, but you know, what would like being heated up with a blowtorch? So there we are, we've welded most of it in. As you can see this, I'm going to manually beat that now into that shape, because I couldn't crush it into that shape. I just couldn't get it prominent enough to actually stick up with the height of this one. This one was nice and easy to get to that height because it was just a straight line, but because this one has this lump in it, and then that, I couldn't quite achieve the peak on that piece of metal that I wanted. But we are getting there, it's nearly in. Again, this new welder, oh, so much better at putting beads down than the old one. But yeah, we're getting there, and then we'll be ready for this really random shaped piece. So I've got the second plate in now. It's actually a nicer match than that side. So just going to start to weld it. As you can see, it bows in at the bottom, so we can weld to about here, and then we're going to have to start pushing it in from the outside, and that is because it actually curves. The front actually curves into the chassis rail, and then obviously once that panel has been curved into this, we can drill it to this chassis rail to make it a full sealed piece. Same with this, we'll drill it and then we'll put it on from the inside, and then we can put on our outrigger. And then this side of the Capri is done. Oh my god. And we've literally just got to start fixing these little bits on that rear box section around there. And we are slowly getting there, because I want this done this year. The Capri must be done. So it's welded in, and it turns out that this is way too far forward. It should have been in line, it should have been there, so it would have made that easier to make. Because if you stick on the outrigger, which goes roughly about there, I know it's not flush with the floor, we're just using it as a reference. When it sits on it, there's barely a finger gap between this and this. And on the one I made previously, as you can see, there's probably a 3-finger gap between that and that. So yeah, I made that and that on this one too long. Even though I tried to measure it, I don't know where the measurement went from. Oh, it's just faint, it's just there. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I'm not that bothered. No one's going to see the floor once it's all... It needs more grinding back, but we'll get to that. I'm at the minute just getting rid of the old bits of the outrigger so that the new one can go on. Yeah, so it's definitely getting there. This side of the floor is pretty much done. Just got to fill the inside. Once this outside's done, it needs to be welded from the inside as well. So I've joined I've drawn round where the outrigger needs to go. So therefore everything in that square needs to be super clean metal. So let's make it super clean metal. Oh, look at that, clean. Yeah, and it's obviously ground back more of that weld, but look at what's underneath. Look at the frame rails, chassis. That is from the numerous jacks that have jacked this car up over its course of its life, and they just got further forward and further forward. Because in reality this is the only place you can jack a Ford Capri up, because the sills are not meant for jacking, and the only jack mark that you got from factory is that. Basically the jack sits there, goes into there, and it basically jacks the entire side of the Capri up, because you got to remember, this might be a big car but it weighs practically nothing. And that'll be another reason why all this area gets rotten, because again, look, it's been jacked up so many times on the back chassis rail that it basically, all this area gets buckled and damaged, and all of the seam sealer that they would have put around the seals, if they put any on there in the first place, cracks and opens up and it lets water in. This one's not too bad, look. It's only been done about a couple of times at the back. But the front's bad. The front's been jacked up numerous times. I have no intention of fixing that, because one, it's really difficult, and 2, it's the vehicle's history, it can keep it. So literally just putting this in place, we'll line it up there where the old one clearly was, and as you can see, it's not too bad of a fit this side, but you come around this side, god damn, you can see how bent that floor pieces I've put in has got from forming these shapes in it. It's gonna need a good load of wacky from the inside to make that flat again. So I know what I've got to do now. I don't think I'm going to get any closer than that. It's not perfect, but it will hold it down, because like the last one I ended up welding it all the way round to hold it down, which wasn't ideal because the old welder wasn't very good at doing plug welds. So we'll see how well this one works. So we're going to drill a load of holes in this and then we'll have a go at welding it on. So there we go, look, the Artec welder, and this is only the MiG 180, is already superior to the snap-on welder, because the snap-on welder would not do plug welds whatsoever, and they are not going anywhere. So yeah, I'm happy with that. We can continue now. Can push the bottom in, clamp it down and get it on. See, I started at this end. Last time I started at this end, and what it ended up doing was ended up pulling it up like that. So now I can actually just push this in. It'll push the floor to exactly where it needs to be, and then I'll be able to tack these down flush. See, look, I need pushing down. So the floor will be able to go back to its natural straight position. Oh, it's looking good. It went on, and some of the plug welds are better than the others, but it's not coming off, so I can't really be mad. This one obviously looks a mess because I ended up welding all the way around it in order to just hold it on, because none of the plug welds worked with the snap-on welder. But yeah, this one, I'm happy with that. It's not going anywhere. That's good. So off camera, I've just tackled this area. Needed a small square putting in it, and then a little tack there and a little tack there for 2 holes. There's still this to tackle, but I've also got to drill this hole now so that it matches how big it's supposed to be. They're actually, telling a lie, they're actually supposed to be bigger than that, but I didn't want to go back to the original size because it's just too big, and I've got some grommets that fit in there perfectly. So yeah, so we're going to make that one match that bottom one, and then we're pretty much ready to fiberglass over everything to keep the water away, and then we'll tackle this. So then, this is the finished result. Floor pan, shapes that are supposed to be there, outrigger. Obviously I repaired that little bit there, still that bit to go. But yeah, I am happy with how it's turned out. I'm going to remove this horrible welding that somebody else did. I'm going to grind that down because it's disgusting. But yeah, we're well on our way for getting there. Yes, well happy with that. Starting to look like a Capri floor at all angles. Yes, perfection. So yes, I am 100% happy with how that turned out, and I can't wait to put the Gravitex and the seam sealer on the underside of this car and call it finished. Because once that happens, all we've got to do is repair the front, make sure all the wings and all the gaps line up, and then we can literally start putting it back together. So I've been Lee, it's been Retro Cars Reborn, and remember, just get out there, build something. You'll have loads of fun doing it. I'll see you in the next episode.